When we say, oh, it came to me in a dream, well, what are you really saying when you say that?
I have this dream that was very, very scary at the time.
In general, I constantly have nightmares.
I have these really vivid, intense dreams that feel like an entire movie.
Dreams have meaning, and they have different kinds of meaning for different kinds of people.
So it begins in like a forest at night, and I'm walking through the snow with my dad. I get to the center of this courtyard, and there's a single very, very tall tree, and I start climbing it, and I fall into the courtyard, and I land on my back and break my neck, and I'm lying there, dead, I presume. Eventually, like, there was this odd phenomena that I can only describe as like the sky opening up, and these enormous stone figures appeared, and it kind of like began dawning on me that like, oh, that one of them's God and the other is like Satan, and they've come for my soul.
There's always a point in the dream where that you can't interpret it. It just kind of goes dark on you. And that's a really important principle too, in the sense that there are things that are given to us and that the rational mind cannot know. Of course, not every dream is a sacred dream, but I think it's important to remember that we as humans, that there's things that are given to us, however we might want to interpret what that means.
One specific nightmare that's like a constant repeat is like me falling off a cliff. And I'm always constantly running from something or like someone with like an axe. It's blurry and it's like very gray. It's never like usually colored, but I'm like running away and then falling off the cliff and I wake up.
Freud did give us a really good model, Sigmund Freud, of interpretation. Of course, he's now sort of famous for that idea of interpreting dreams. You break apart the dream into each of its elements, and then you associate to each of those elements. All of a sudden, other images and ideas will come gather around it, and then you'll start to develop a whole network of meanings that will slowly start to reveal to you ideas that you might be working through, conflicts, anxieties, and that principle of self-reflection and free association is really important.
So almost every dream I have, there's some connection to something that happened the previous day. So I actually keep a dream journal, which is like kind of nerdy, but I have these really intense dreams all the time, so I like to write them down.
If you tell yourself, like your little mantra, I want to be able to remember my dreams, I'm going to remember my dreams in the morning when I wake up. And if you put a notepad with a pen, or some people want to just use their phone to be able to verbally record their dreams. If you actually make a concerted effort to like tell yourself to do that, the dreams will come. Stay calm and just let the images come back to you and sit with them. Don't let the world in. Stay with the world that you've been in since while you were asleep.
It was almost like an apocalypse, like there was just emptiness, nothing. Probably inspired by The Last of Us, which I was watching recently. But basically the story was two main characters, which were sisters, and they were kind of isolated, no resources, no food. One of the main plot events was the older sister had the opportunity to leave and kind of join a community where they had resources and survival was better. And she asked the younger sister to come with her, but she didn't want to go with her because she found like a love interest. And that was like a big dramatic moment. And then eventually the older sister left. The younger sister was left alone and she regretted not going with her older sister. And it was like so emotional. And in that moment, I was the younger sister. And I was just like bawling my eyes out, like, you know, big mistake that I made. And then the movie dream kind of ended off with the older sister ended up coming back for the younger sister. So yeah, that was kind of the dream I had last night that I thought of.
I think we already, as humans, think now we have so much control over our own lives. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. It's not led us to a good place. So I think actually respecting the givenness of dreams, they are literally our capacity to envision the world in a future sense.